The more you get to know me, the more you will know I love simple things because I think simple things make it easy to keep them in your life. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Kayla, and this is where we talk all about project management, startup, all kinds of fun stuff happening here. And if this is something you're interested in, I would love to invite you to subscribe. And I also want to ask you to please let me know what it is you're interested in hearing about, because I want to make sure I'm talking about the right things on the channel. And the only way I know that is if I hear from you. So let me know what you want to hear about. Now on to today's topic. Today I'm going to share with you my daily schedule. And I'm going to do this for a couple of reasons. Number one, because I have people ask me, they're curious, what does your day look like? How do you get things done? Maybe you're interested in getting into freelancing and you're just curious how that would look on a day-to-day basis. I want to share this with you so you can understand what my schedule looks like, but also because I find it really fascinating to hear about other people's days and see how their schedule are run. I think we can learn a lot from hearing about the experiences of others and figure out maybe where we could do some smarter things with our time. And then also it's just helpful to understand that everybody's human. We all have the same struggles. We all have similar things happening in our days. And it is something that brings us together to know that we're all in it together. So that's what I want to share with you today. And I also want to give the caveat that this is my schedule right now. Like, it may not have been my schedule 2 months ago, and it may not be my schedule 2 months from now, but it's my schedule right now. It's what works for me right now. And part of it may work for you. None of it may work for you, but hopefully it's helpful just to hear me share what is working for me right now. Oh, and I should say that this is my schedule for Monday through Thursday. Friday looks a little different for me because I try to keep Fridays call free. Try not to have any calls on Fridays. And I also have another business that I take care of on Fridays. So Fridays looks a little different for me. Monday through Thursday is when I'm really trying to get a lot done and be very scheduled about my day. All right, so let's get started. My day usually starts between 6 and 6:30 is when I get up. I used to be a super early riser, but no more of that. 6:30 is about as much as I can do there. So get up at 6:30, take care of the dog, take him out, get him fed, drink my glass of water because it's very important to stay hydrated, make my coffee, and once I get that all settled, I start my morning routine, which is really important and special to me. It's a time of the day when the house is usually quiet and I can process my thoughts very clearly without interruption. So the first thing I do once I'm sitting down is I take out my journal, and my journal is just it's simple, it has lined paper in it, very simple. The more you get to know me, the more you will know I love simple things because I think simple things make it easy to keep them in your life. So I have a simple journal here, and I used to be intimidated by journaling. I used to think I had to create some sort of life-changing journal entry every day, but I don't think that anymore. All I expect from myself in terms of journaling is that I take the time each morning to do it. Pen to paper, 5 minutes, whatever is on my mind, that is what I put in my journal. There's no other expectation around what ends up in the journal. And it's been something that I'm really happy I do. And I cherish the moments that I have with my journal. So if you are not a journaler, if you are intimidated by journaling, take a simple approach, a pen to paper, 5 minutes. Don't put any other expectations with it. Give it a try and see how you feel about it. Okay. The next thing I do after I'm done with my journaling is then I switch over to my productivity planner. And the one I'm using right now is the Intelligent Change Productivity Planner. And I made a YouTube short on it not too long ago. I really like this planner because not only is it comprehensive, but it kind of includes all of the stuff that's important to me in a format that I think is really smart for work these days. So the two things that I use every day in this productivity planner are the habit tracker. There are certain habits that I want to try to incorporate into my daily life. And so habit tracker is something I look at every morning along with my daily planner. And I really like the way it's broken out in this Intelligent Change book. It asks you what are your 3 most important tasks for the day, and then it asks you to prioritize those. And then you have an opportunity to add smaller tasks if you have those as well. So that is how I've been breaking out my day. What are the 3 most important things that I want to focus on today? What are some of those smaller pieces? And then I just map out my day. What is that going to look like today? I always want to make sure I'm being realistic too and not pile too much in there, because I have historically been guilty of putting too much on my plate. So if that's something you do, maybe a planner like this will be really helpful for you instead of just having like a list or some other method. And I like pen to paper. I like writing things down. It does something with my brain when I can kind of like download it out of my brain to a physical form. So that's what I do next is I tackle my planner. And then after that, I'm going to switch over to LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is a habit that I am trying to build every day, which sounds really crazy that like you want to make social media a habit, but LinkedIn has been a really positive and rewarding thing for me. It's been a great way to network and meet people and learn about startup and project management. So I have been incorporating LinkedIn into my life every day. And what that looks like is I spend a little bit of time every day connecting with people, commenting on posts that I think are interesting or relevant. And then I spend some time every day writing a thoughtful post to share with my network. And what that's done for me is it has really allowed me to make some great connections with people that I wouldn't otherwise meet. And it's also opened my eyes to a lot of things that are happening, not only in project management, but in startups, in business, in the world. It's been very eye-opening. And if there is any social media that I would recommend, LinkedIn is actually the only one that I do. I would recommend it because it is so positive and it does really help me put my mind in the right place and set me straight for my day. It's almost like my water cooler. Since I work from home, it's almost like my water cooler for work. So if you aren't on LinkedIn, if you haven't checked it out, or maybe if you're not active, rethink that. Especially if you are looking into freelancing, LinkedIn would be a great place for you to start networking with folks. And now I'm not affiliated with LinkedIn, I just happen to really love it. Okay, so after I've done my journaling, my planner, my LinkedIning, it's usually about 7:15, and that is time for me to put on my parenting hat. I need to make breakfast, make lunch, and get the kid to school. So I do all of that, and by the time I get back, it's usually a little after 8, and I get right to my workout because exercise is really important to me. I want to make sure that I am incorporating that into my life. So this is the time of day when I do my workout, and I try to listen to an audiobook while I'm working out because I don't always have a lot of time to read once my day is done, but I do want to make sure that I'm making time in my day for absorbing knowledge, whether that is for project management, business, something else in the world that's interesting to me. I want to make time for that. So I do listen to my audiobook while I am working out, which may sound a little weird, but that is what I do when I'm working out. Okay, so once I'm all done with my workout, I've usually had my cup of coffee, my breakfast, I am dressed and ready to go, ready to start my day. It is about 9 o'clock, and 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock is when I typically block for my deep work time. So this is time when I'm going to be working on things that require a bit more time and thought and effort. So it could either be a project that I'm working on for myself, like something creatively, some sort of content that I'm putting together. It might be something that I'm working on for a client, like a proposal. Maybe it is a project plan. Maybe I'm really diving deep into something with a project that I'm working on, like QA or something to that effect. This is when I'm going to block off time for that. And that's about a 2-hour chunk that I do every day. Now, I want to point out, because you're probably asking, well, when do you check your email? Like, how do you know if people need you or your clients need you? And I do this earlier in the day. I check my email in that first chunk of time, right after I've journaled and done my planner. I want to check my email just to make sure nothing urgent has come in or super important that I need to attend to before I start doing all of these other things. That way I know I am like cleared and ready to go, ready to focus for that 2 hours. So I spend about 2 hours working on that. And then after that, from about 11 to 1 is usually when I have blocked off for my calls. So my calls could be anything from maybe I'm meeting with a prospect or potential client. Maybe I'm meeting with a current client to talk about a new project. Maybe I'm meeting with a stakeholder on one of the current projects that I'm managing. Now, most of my projects that I manage right now are pretty small, so I only have a couple stakeholders and a couple team members for each project. So I am able to keep my calls sort of limited because of that. So I may have a call with them, I may have a call with a coaching client, or I may have a call with someone that I'm just connecting with, someone maybe that I met on LinkedIn or met through someone else, someone that's interested in a collaboration of some sort. This is the time of day when I set aside for those sorts of things. So like a 2-hour chunk for my calls. Now, you may be wondering, well, what if a call has to happen outside of that time? And I'm certainly open to that. It does happen where I have a call early in the morning, maybe with someone in a different time zone, or later in the day because that's the only time we could get together. That definitely happens. I just like to make sure that most of my calls happen in that chunk of time between like 11 and 1. Now, if I don't have any calls that day, or I don't have calls that fill up that time, then I may extend my deep work into that time slot. I may work on some sort of side project. I may work on a task that I want to complete. I could do any number of things in there. Sometimes I go to lunch, which is always fun. But yeah, that 11 to 1 time slot is when I have dedicated to phone time. And then after 1 o'clock, if I haven't had a bite to eat, I'll have a bite to eat then. And usually from about 1 to 2:30 is when I work on some of those smaller tasks, the little things that I want to just cross off my list. And I will focus on those things between 1 to 2:30. 2:30, I put my mom hat on again and I go to school, do school pickup, get all of that stuff done, get stuff out of the backpack, all the fun stuff that happens when you are a parent. And then I usually take from about 4:30 to 5:30, and that's when I'll sit down. I respond to messages, respond to calls, respond to emails, respond to all of that stuff. I set aside about an hour, hour and a half to make sure all of that is happening. And I am checking in during the day too. I have a couple different check-in points where I check in and make sure that I'm responding to things in a timely manner. So that puts me at about 5:30, which is usually about the time that I start dinner. So that's going to happen. Dinner time, family time happens. And Monday through Thursday, it is not unusual for me after bedtime for me to put in another hour or two working on either a project, maybe editing a video, maybe doing some of my billing, some of that stuff that doesn't require a lot of brain power, but I just didn't have time to fit in the day. So it's not unusual for me Monday through Thursday to put in a couple more hours there at the end of the day. At the end of the day, before I go to bed, I do like to try to read at least one chapter of a book. Whatever book that I'm reading, I want to read at least one chapter. I think that's a lovely way to wrap up the day with a positive habit like that. So that's it. Then I fall asleep and do it all over again. That's my Monday through Thursday. Like I said, Friday's a little different, and I do leave room for myself Fridays to kind of tackle some of that other work that maybe I didn't have a chance to get to during the week. But I got to tell you, my Monday through Thursdays, they go fast. Like they go fast and they're really full. But I find that structuring my day like this really helps me to get everything done that I want to get done. And by the end of the week, I'm able to say, okay, I did all of those things I wanted to do. Hopefully this is helpful for you to hear about my day and what I'm doing with my time, how I'm managing it. I would love to hear from you, love to hear what your schedule looks like and what is helpful for you at this stage in your life and career, what helps you get things done. I'll see you next time. Bye.